Yes, hello. Welcome to today's episode of Conversation with Shegun. I'm here, I'm live, ready with my guests to take on today's discussion on what we are having on the topic for discussion today. As you can see on the screen there, today's topic for discussion is education, a new frontier in this COVID-19 era. And so my guest today will be talking about how we as a people can use education to change the narrative in this COVID-19 era. Also, we'll be looking about what the educational sector can do differently in this era. My guest today is an esteemed lady that I've known for a while, and I followed her from a distance, seen her work, watched her work, and she's someone that I think my audience would learn a lot from today, and she will be doing justice to this topic today. Her name is Carol Ballo. Carol Ballo is a UK certified, UK trained consultant, and she's here to share with us some lessons on how we can use education to change the narrative, like I said, in this COVID-19 era. Like we all know, COVID-19 has affected a lot of things, it has changed a lot of things, but I will not go into that until I welcome my guest to the studio today. I'm bringing her right in, Miss Carol Ballo.
Hi, Shegun. How are you?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. You're looking really
Yeah,
lovely.
thank you. I made an effort
Welcome.
just for you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for putting in the effort for me. I
Thank
truly
you. You're
appreciate it.
welcome. You're welcome.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I'll ask quickly, how has COVID-19 been for you? Has it changed anything for you? Has everything been normal,
Oh
or
my
your
goodness.
entire narrative has changed?
There is nothing normal about this COVID pandemic, I'm telling you. Um, Seriously, very seriously, let's say six to 7 weeks ago, I
Mm,
had never been on Instagram Live. I don't think I'd even watched an Instagram Live. And now
mm.
not only am I watching, but I'm hosting and I'm about to try out Facebook Live. This is the first time on Facebook Live. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's completely changed the narrative. I think people like you and I are used to standing in front of people and talking and interacting and having being able to see their eyeballs, look at their reactions.
Mm.
Now we're talking to inanimate objects. So yeah, it's changed things. It's changed things a lot, and it's certainly changed things in the education sphere. I think forever, actually.
How has it affected you work-wise? What you do? How has this changed your work for you? Before you
Well,
used to go out and meet people, like you said earlier, do stuff, but now you can't afford to do that anymore. How has this changed for you?
I think what it's doing is it's making us more creative. It's making us think outside the box. One of the great advantages that I've found in this season is it's given us time to think. It's given us time to plan. It's been given us time to re-strategize. It helps us, for example, to think about different ways of doing things. So, I used to spend hours and hours and hours in airports just waiting for flights, delayed flights, and so on. And I'm realizing that many of the meetings that we can do like this. I mean,
Sure.
I'm looking at you, I'm seeing your face, I can see your reactions. It's not like having a phone call, but we can have a meeting. We don't necessarily have to be in the same space to have a meeting. So that's how it's changed things for me significantly, that I can now have professional meetings with people, have consultations and meetings. Now, because I work in education and because a lot of the work that I do means going into classrooms and things like that, then that aspect of the work obviously is on pause until things change. But in terms of having meetings and being able to counsel, being able to coach, I'm still able to maintain my coaching profile with teachers, with school leaders, and so on. So yeah, it's changed a lot. What it's helped me to do is as well, and the beauty, the thing I've really enjoyed in this season is connecting with people that I might never have connected with. I mean, our connection, for example, we've been watching ourselves for 5 years, and never actually connected until this season came upon us, you know, and now we're sat here having a conversation and the rest of the world is listening. So, you know, it's quite phenomenal. I love it. I love the opportunity. I love the way that, you know, I've embraced the change.
Exactly. It brings me to my next thing I'm going to talk about. We were chatting behind the scene before today, and we spoke about how, what if this becomes the new normal? How do we go forward? What if this becomes the new normal? If this becomes the new normal today, Caroline, how would your business thrive?
Wow. Well, I would have to ask the question, how is the education sector going to change? Because the bottom line is children are having some level of education at the moment, but the reality is that they are not getting the full essence of what they should get and what they would get in terms of, you know, part of education is the socialization aspect, the meeting with other children and the learning how to interact, the learning how to share, and so on and so forth. So you can never take away that. I'm not to say that this is not going to cause innovation in education, in terms of the fact that the use of technology, I think, will be greatly exploited moving forward. But I don't think it will take away from the fact that children still need to be with other children in a classroom situation. So it may be long term, it might be a little while yet before we get back to that type of work. But I still think that I'm still going to have to go into schools, and I'm still going to have to, you know, do the work that I have normally done. But I will be a lot more cautious. I will exploit this medium more than I will do getting on planes and traveling and so on and so forth, because I think there's lots of implications to what's happened as well with regards to the travel and so on. So, yeah.
Fantastic. My guests before today talked about how one of the things that we need to do differently now is to adapt to today's reality. You just spoke about how you don't need to go to the airport anymore, but you need to adapt to using this kind of tools and all to be able to. My question is, with that background, my question is, how do businesses who are not very social media friendly, I say in quotes, social media friendly, are not very internet friendly, how do they cope? Because you are a business consultant, and I want us to look at it from that angle. What would you tell a business that has not been internet friendly, social media friendly all this while? What would you tell them to do differently now?
Okay, first of all, you have to be brave. You have to, you know, there's a post that I did recently, and I know this is taking us back to Bible, but but if you want a miracle, like Peter stepping out of the boat, you have to be brave enough to step out of the boat if you want to walk on water. So number one, you have to be brave. You have to be ready to embrace. The same way I was petrified the first time I went on Instagram Live. I was absolutely petrified. It was something that I hadn't experienced. It was something that I didn't know about. And the bottom line is that I had to do it. I had to do it because you've got to be in it to win it. So the bottom line is, if you don't embrace it, you're going to lose out. Everybody else is doing it. If you don't do it, you're going to be missing out. You really are going to be missing out. So number one, be brave enough to take the first step. What I did was I identified somebody in my sphere who was really good at social media, who was really good at social media, and she became my mentor. And she became someone that she sort of said, you need to do this, you need to do this. I would send her a picture, for example, that I wanted to post. And I looked at the picture and I thought, it's a lovely picture, you know, it's a picture of me, it's a very beautiful picture and whatever. And I sent it to her and I said, what do you think? And she said, absolutely not. I said, why? She said, it's in your bedroom. And I was like, oh my God, because I hadn't seen the background. You know, I was looking at the picture, I was looking at me. So I hadn't seen the background. So I had a professional mentor. I had someone that does social media excellently as my mentor. So that will be my first brave enough to take the first step, find a social media mentor and then just keep doing it. Just keep doing it, and be willing to take advice. Be willing to take advice from other people, and be willing also to give each other advice. Like, you know, we talked earlier, and I gave you a few
Yes,
updates.
you told me to put the lights on, and
yes,
if that's without the lights,
yes,
this is with my phone lights. Is there a
difference?
difference?
Now I can see you, not just your teeth.
Yes. And I took your advice right there, and I like the point. I like the point you made that people need to get mentorship in this area.
Absolutely.
Because wherever you want to get to, somebody has gotten there already. All it needs to do is for you to be willing enough for him to show you the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing that I always say is, be willing. If you're willing to learn, and you're willing to even, you know, obviously you know, some people will say they require a payment from it. Fine, you know, be willing to do that, because if they're really good at what they do, then value what they're going to give to you. You know, you have to value what they're going to give to you, and it really is going to make a difference in your own life. So
Fantastic.
yeah,
Fantastic. Someone says that I need the ring lights. Yeah, I need a ring. I'll get one soon.
You need the ring lights. Yeah. You've taken the first step. I can actually see you.
Exactly.
Well done.
So, like I will always say to people, life is about listening. And so somebody told me, said it's copy and paste, but it depends on who you are copying from.
Right.
Everything we do is copy and paste. What I'm doing now, I saw somebody doing it and I liked it, and I said, whoa, I have the people to make this work.
Yes.
Let me make it happen. I tested it, and today you are our 9th guest. This is our 9th episode of Conversations with Segun. We're going to have lot more people coming. That's one of the things business need to do to adapt. I would normally go in front of people to speak, but right now I'm speaking to a lot more people from a broader background. But just with the fact that I decided to, you know, latch onto this that is available and started doing this now. Somebody asked a question here. I'd like us to quickly answer this question before we go into the discussion properly. It said, like somebody asked earlier on, what will happen to our business? For example, someone who has a bookstore, and if COVID-19 continues, if the lockdown continues, if we don't get to go out and mingle as much as we used to do before, if people don't get to go out to buy, how do our businesses continue? I'd like you to answer this question quickly so that this person, for example, who's a bookstore owner, what can she do? How can a business continue?
I actually think she's got an advantage over you and I, Segun, because our business is based on us being there. She has a product that she can sell, and having a product means she can sell online. She can sell online. She can set up an online bookstore using a website or using even Amazon. She can set up an Amazon account, and she could probably find her business doubling, tripling, and quadrupling because she has products to sell. She has products to sell, and I think that's the thing. People like you and I that are more service orientated are having to think about how we repackage ourselves to have a product to sell rather than a service, and so we have a greater challenge actually than people that do have a product.
True. So those that are more product centered have more advantage in the kind of world we're living today, where you can just put your product. You don't have to be there. You put your product, and your product is selling itself. Like somebody said, it's automating the system.
Absolutely. And I know you said, I listened to one of your earlier broadcasts, and I know you were talking about one of the key things that business people need to be is adaptable. They need to be like a chameleon, and they need to look at the market, look at the trend, look at the way things are changing, and you need to be willing to change quickly. If you stay where you are, you will stay where you are, literally. You will not move times. So we have to move with the times. We have to be adaptable. We have to be flexible. We need to be forward thinking. And so when we're looking at the education sector, for example, we need to now, I mean, if I had a school now, I would be so excited at the possibilities and that this COVID season has presented, because this offers opportunities to become a pioneer school, to become a pioneer educator, to become a pioneer school owner, right? Now, what excites me about this is we can stay in the norm. We can stay, you know, I come from the UK, and I know when I first came to Nigeria, I had a mentality that, you know, that British is best, you know, colonial mentality, call it what you will. Became, and as you know, I spent some time in Warri, and I sat down one day and I looked at the Nigerian curriculum and I looked at the British curriculum, and I put them next to each other, and I realized the Nigerian curriculum in terms of content, especially maths and science, is far, far, far higher than the British curriculum. So what are we talking about? So I had to rejig in my mind, and I had to sort of reassess and reevaluate and think, okay, so what are the issues then? What are the issues? Why is it, if this is the case, that Nigerian schools are looking to copy the British? And then I realized that probably the gap that's missing is that the Nigerian curriculum is steeped in content only. So it's a case of a teacher will stand up and talk. Here's your lesson notes, copy them, go away and learn. The learning doesn't take place in the classroom. The teaching takes place in the classroom, and then the students are asked to go away and review their lesson notes. And that's just it. Whereas the learning methodologies that we have in the UK are very much about giving children the skills that they need to develop their own learning. And what that does is it allows students to explore way, way, way beyond the content of the syllabus, the content of the curriculum. It makes them critical thinkers and problem solvers. So that's why I'm able to be very flexible in my business, in my learning, in everything that I'm doing. I'm able to be very, very flexible because I've been taught to problem solve. I've been taught to think critically. And that's something that, generally speaking, Nigerians generally, and I'm being very general, unless they've learned it at home, generally they don't learn it until they go into their first workplace, into their first place of work. Once they go into their first place of work and they begin to apply the knowledge that they've learned in university, that's when the problem solving and the critical thinking starts to come in. You know, but even there, sometimes, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so in your own view now, what the educational system needs to do differently is to make sure that critical learning skills are being learned right in the educational system and not when you get out of the educational system.
There are so many things, Shogun, that need to change. I think one of the first things that needs to be, oh God, there's so many things. Number one, they need to review the curriculum as a matter of urgency. We are not prepared. This country is not prepared for post-COVID because there's still parts of the country that don't have light. There's still parts of the country that can't have access even to internet services and so on and so forth. So how on earth are we prepared as a nation, is Nigeria prepared as a nation to enter the global market? You know, we're just not, we're not ready. So until the infrastructures are put in place that will allow everybody to have access to innovation, then we're not ready. I saw a video and it saddened me. It really made me cry. I saw a video of a computer science teacher teaching a class of students with a piece of paper in front of them with the keyboard written on it and a stone as a mouse. Now, how on earth are you going to give children any concept of what a computer is? There was a guy that I interviewed, it was while I was in Warri. He had a first-class honours degree in computer science. And when we put him in front of a computer, he didn't know how to switch it on. And he said that everything he'd done at university was theory. And I was absolutely horrified. And this is the problem with the system. So there's a big disconnect between government has the power, industry that has the money, and education that has the knowledge. And until we marry those three, so let's say, for example, let's have a look. One of the biggest issues in Nigeria right now is security, right? Every day you're hearing about kidnappings, you're hearing about ambush, you're hearing about all of these things. It's a major issue in Nigeria. And there's less than 5% of universities in Nigeria that are offering a robust course in security education and security management. Right? Now, you've got agriculture. Agriculture right now, I mean, you've got vast, amazing pieces of land that are ripe for agriculture and for development so that Nigeria can become self-sufficient. And the government is pushing that agenda. So every university, almost 95% of universities will offer a course in agricultural science, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But less than 5% of students that come out with a degree in agricultural science actually end up going into agriculture. Instead, they're working in our banks.
So true.
This is the challenge. And then the other challenge is, of course, when you leave, you go to university. I have a good friend of mine that went through the university here, and he wanted to be a doctor. He wanted to do medicine, right? He applied first year, he didn't get the scores. He applied the second year, he didn't get the scores. Do you know what he ended up studying? Zoology. Zoology.
It's like that.
I mean, you know, how can you end up, you want to do something and you're told, no, you can't, here's an alternative. And the alternative has nothing to do with what you want to do. And that doesn't happen in the rest of the world. The rest of the world, you apply to do a course, and as long as you get the grades, you can do it. And if you can't, you do something that, like, let me give you an example. I went back to university as a mature student, right? I applied to do a degree at the time, and because I hadn't done my A-levels, but I had the relevant work experience. They said, you know something, we're going to offer you the diploma, but if you pass the diploma after the first year, if you pass the diploma, we'll put you onto the degree course. So I said, okay, fine. It was the same course, but just at a lower level. After the first term, my grades were so good that they put me straight onto the degree course. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that the system itself is not allowing for people to do what they really want to do. And if we had people that were trained in their passion, that they were allowed to do the courses that they are passionate about, that they really, really want to do, that they're able to do, they have the capacity to do, we would have people that are leaving with a degree that is of value, that they will now use to move into the areas that they really want to do, and they will do it better.
Very, very, very true, Carol. Very true, Carol.
You've got me on my soapbox now.
Yeah. I'm going to pause you and talk with the audience, but I'm coming right back to you. For those of us who just joined us, we have Carol Ballo with us. Carol Ballo is the CEO of Seba Consulting. She's right here chatting with me. Just in case you're just joining from wherever you're joining, please kindly feel free to share this video to your contacts, share this video to everyone that you know needs it and needs to watch this video at this time. Tell them, let them know it's Conversations with Segun, and we have been talking on a very important topic today. It's on education, a new frontier in the COVID era. I want to take some comments. I want to see some comments and questions, and I'll bring Carol back to say something about one of the comments that I think is something that we need to take a headway with. Harry Manisa Yofo says, Segun, hi, thank you for watching, sir, from wherever you're watching. Please do share this to other people. Wisdom King says, good submission on security. Security education, agricultural scientist, working in the bank. Says, very true. The guy who ended up studying zoology was just laughing and saying, Augustine says, hi, I'm in. Welcome, Augustine. Booz says, making us proud. Thank you. Welcome, brother. Okay, I'm going to pick this question by Victor, this comment, and I would like Carol, I don't know, Carol, I'm bringing you back in. I hope you see this comment. Carol, this is a comment on the screen. Can you see it? I'll read it to you. It says, as a business consultant said, children are getting education online at this period, but not getting the full essence of what they are getting. So if this COVID era becomes the new normal for the next 18 months, what else can the educational system do to make our children get education in its full essence? Carol, did you get the comment?
Very big question.
Very sorry, Carol. We didn't get it from the beginning because your mic was muted. So did you get the question, and what's your take?
I did get the question, and it's a very, very big question. Truth be told, I we're all in this together. We're all in this together in terms of the fact that we're in uncharted waters. And the truth is, I don't have an answer to that question. I don't know what else we can do. My suggestion, and what I think is going to have to happen, is that schools at some point are going to have to open, but they're going to have to open perhaps in a staggered way, in the sense that a classroom that was perhaps designed for 30 students will now only be able to hold 15 students, maybe half or even a third of what it was designed for, which means that the school day might be shorter, but they'll actually get some interaction with the teacher. I know that in China, schools are already opening and they're having all sorts of measures put in place. So and these are things that schools need to be talking about now. School owners and school leaders need to be talking about these things now. There's no point in waiting until, there's an announcement from the federal government that says we're going to open schools next week, and then starting to rush around and make plans. I know that in Abuja, here where I live, one of the supermarkets in Wuse, I believe, has already got a disinfectant tunnel in outside their shop. Now, these are things that I know schools in Abuja have started to talk about. These disinfectant tunnels that you can go through, and I think one was actually designed by a Nigerian, which I was very, very happy about. Hand washing facilities, disinfectant tunnels, social distancing. But my question will always be, how do you deal with 5-year-olds that want to interact and want to push and shove each other and want to jump around and play and interact? You can't do social distancing with young children. It's almost impossible. So what do you do? What are the safeguards? What are the measures? And I think this is where education and health need to work together. There needs to be some synergy. There needs to be some conversations, and those conversations should be going on now. We're already in post-COVID, and that's what people keep talking about. Post-COVID. We're already in post-COVID. COVID is here. So we're in the post-COVID era. So now, if you're a strategic leader, you're supposed to be planning ahead. What happens pre-resumption? What plans are we already putting in place? One of the schools that I know here has already started to rejig their classrooms to accommodate social distancing. It's much easier with secondary than it is primary. How are you going to force young children to wear a mask all day long whilst they're in a classroom? So these are some of the questions that I've got, and this is where these are some of the dialogues that need to be had now, prior to schools resuming. But I do think that they do have to look at social distancing and look at alternatives, because children need to be with children. They need to be with children.
Exactly. So that's a fantastic contribution you just made now. But I'll say this, that as business people, they say that in every challenge, there's an opportunity. So I believe that this is throwing up an opportunity, not just for those in the educational sector, but for business people generally, who are quick and who are sniffing to see business opportunity. You are a consultant. What is that one business opportunity, if you were not into education fully, that you will pick out from this, so that we can reach out to everybody in different spectrums?
My goodness. Okay. Let me start by saying this. Education is not just schools. Education is a sphere in and of itself. It's a sphere of society. So let's think about this. Let's think about it. You've got schools, you've got home tutors, you've got book manufacturers and publishers, you've got toy manufacturers, you've got software engineers, you've got network. I mean, right now, if I was in the networking world, if I was in the IT world, I would be laughing all the way to the bank. I'd be looking for solutions for schools left, right, and center. I'd be looking for options. Right now, if you're not necessarily an architect, but possibly an architect, somebody, I don't know, there's perhaps another word. I'd be looking at how you can advise schools to space space out their classrooms to utilize their classroom spaces. For example, are there areas outside of schools that you can now use as covered areas to create more space so that some of the learning can take place outside? Are there solutions? You know, for example, if I was in the medical profession right now, if I was in the psychology profession right now, I would be looking at all of these different opportunities, because there will be children that will be traumatized. There'll be children right now that are really, really struggling with the lockdown that may need help and support moving forward. How are you going to find children who are now very, very happy and very, very comfortable at home, now going back into a situation where their parents could have caused them to be very fearful about being around people? So you're now taking these children that are now full of fear because of their parents, and you're putting them back into this situation that they've learned to fear. So you're talking about counseling, you're talking about psychologists, educational psychologists, you're talking about therapists, you're talking about planners, these are some crazy opportunities that are available in the education sphere. But understand that education is not just school. Let me give you an example about how something really, really small can change the world. And this is an idea I got from someone else, actually. Imagine that every school in Nigeria decided that on a particular day of the week, let's say it's a Friday, every single child was going to wear cultural wear, right? Now, what's that going to do to the economy? Where are those children going to get those garments? They're going to get them from the local tailors. So suddenly, think about how many children there are in this country, and suddenly the tailoring is now going to become a desired profession, because there's a massive market for making children's clothes in this era. It's just about how a small change, a small decision could have a massive impact. So even look at the fact that over the last few years, you've probably got these education professionals that are into IT that have been knocking doors of schools and not being able to get an audience. And suddenly,
right now, they are looking for them.
Suddenly, hey, please come.
Where are you?
Where are you? So you know what? I think in whatever profession people are in right now, they need to begin to think. They need to think. I'm thinking. How can I repackage? What can I now do? How can I repackage myself? I'm doing exactly what you're probably doing, which is looking for fresh and new opportunities to repackage ourselves and our products. And that's what I think we all need to be doing. If you have been really seriously affected by this process, by this COVID lockdown, you should not just be sitting down and waiting for. If you think that post-COVID that things are going to be the same, you're sadly mistaken. Everything has changed.
Everything has changed. Things are never going to be the same again. They are not already the same again. So there are a lot of things that are coming new. There are a lot of things people are learning. There are a lot of things they used to do before to make money that they're not doing again. There are a lot of things that they would do now that will make money for them that has never been done before. But the thing is now, if people are willing, to take those opportunities and begin to work with them. It's like we've lost Carol. Her stream is frozen. Okay, I'll take her off the stream. And say that, Carol, if you can hear me, kindly go out and come back so that we can do the last push, and would let you go because we have exhausted our time. If you can hear me, Carol, you're watching, come back on the stream. I will bring you back on. But for everyone who has been watching, I hope you had a wonderful time. I'd like to see your comments, your questions, anything that you'd like for Carol to answer. Kindly feel free to put your comments right there in the comment section or wherever you're watching, Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or wherever it is you are. Please put your comments. Carol is back. I'll bring her on soon. She's back already. Let me see your comments. I want to see comments and what people have to say. Victor, who asked the last question now, said, thank you, Carol, for your explicit response to my question. Fantastic. Hello, Carol.
Hi, sorry, network.
I understand. It's even being fair to us today that I didn't go off twice or more. This is just once, and the program is almost ending. You answered Victor's question now, and Victor says thank you for the explicit response. What happened with the network now is another opportunity again. There are many things we can do differently. In Abuja, where you are, there are many service providers. Apart from the major telecom providers, there are other ones that you can use for data. In other cities, like where I am, we must depend on the major networks, and we don't have those telecom providers. That is something that is an opportunity for business people, those who have huge capital, to bring on board. I'll take this last question from Harry Manisa Oyofo, then I'll ask you, Carol, to give me three things on your fingertip that you think that people in the educational sector need to do. But that will be after we take this question from Harry Manisa Oyofo, who says another glaring missing component is safety education, which is why the country suffers massive losses in people, assets, and environment yearly because of the absence of minimum safety standards everywhere. He says, what do you reckon? What do you think, Carol?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think in terms of things like health and safety, people that have perhaps been sidelined up to now. I'm thinking of two people that I've connected with recently who are very much into health and safety, this very issue in education, and not just in education, but in the work sphere, in the workplace. They would probably have been sidelined and not found much business and not found much work. But now, we're in a totally different era. These are the sorts of things that we need to start thinking about. We need to start thinking about health and safety. I'm sometimes absolutely horrified when I walk into buildings and I say health and safety, and unfortunately I'm coming with my inspector's hat. I'm coming with the UK inspector's hat. I look and I see hazards everywhere, and I'm horrified. So any school I work with, the first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at the health and safety aspect. Any organization that I go in, I'm looking at health and safety, and I'm saying, look, these things, if you want to be international standards, if you want to be globally competitive, you need to address some of these issues. So in short, absolutely, I think health and safety is absolutely critical at this time, moving forward.
I ask a personal question. What do you think I can do in the area of health and safety?
I've not seen your place. I don't know.
No. I'm asking in
health and safety.
Health and safety education.
Okay, health and safety education. First of all, you have to go and get yourself trained. You really need me, my consultancy services, to be able to teach you how to look with my eyes. We'll talk about that afterwards. See, opportunity, never lost much.
We'll talk about that. Thank you for coming. But before you go, I want you, lastly, 3 quick things on the tip of your fingers. What do those in the educational sector need to look at? A lot of them are watching now. What do they need to do? 3 quick things they need to do as action points. If they ask you, what do I need to do today? What are the 3 quick things that people in the sector need to do?
Today, I think you need, today's school leaders and school owners need to start planning for resumption. They need a pre-resumption plan, a resumption plan, and a post-resumption plan. So they need to know at each stage what decisions, they need to make those decisions now. Now, obviously, those decisions will as you move on and as things change, but you have to have a plan. What is it? Failing to plan is planning to fail. So you must have a plan now. Don't let this thing catch us unawares. So number 1, have a plan. Number 2, begin to think about reviewing your curriculum to account for the global changes that are going on in the world. So you need to be thinking about innovation. You need to be thinking about problem solving, critical thinking skills. These things need to be put into your curriculum as soon as possible, because we cannot afford, Nigeria cannot afford. Let me just say this very quickly. We've currently got 200 million people here in Nigeria. By 2050, that is supposed to double. That is going to be more than double. That's in less than 30 years. That's either going to be a massive issue for Nigeria or an amazing opportunity. the rest of the world, the population, the working population is in decline. So if Nigeria is ready for the global market, these are opportunities where people will be coming here to take the workforce from here and take those overseas. It's a massive opportunity. But at the moment, Nigerians are not ready. The curriculum is not ready. The schools are not ready. What's being taught in classrooms is not ready. So people need to begin to think strategically about their curriculum and how they're going to move those things forward. How are you going to be ready? These children that we're teaching today are going to be your age, not my age, in 30 years' time, right? They're going to be your age in 30 years' time. So where are they going to be? What are we preparing them for tomorrow? It's not about today. Every Nigerian parent wants their child to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, an accountant. And I always ask the question when I'm training, is this all that Nigeria has to offer? And the answer is no. Some of the most intelligent people I know I've met in the last 5 years. So Nigeria has so much to offer the world if we change and get things right.
Thank you. That was more than the 3. It was more than the 3. But I cringe when I hear you say that Nigeria is not ready for the global market because of the way our curriculum is. There's a whole lot of discussion we're going to have about our curriculum very soon. I know Harimanisa Oyefo said, thank you, Carol. We hope there's another opportunity in the future. I would say yes to that. We need to come back again and discuss on the our Nigerian curriculum and how it affects the future of Nigeria. We have a booming youth population, but like you said, that is not ready for the future that they are going into. But hopefully, with our discussions and all the things we have here, we'll be able to, nudge the system in an area where they will prepare for new frontiers in the post-COVID world. I want to say again, thank you, Carol, for coming.
You're welcome. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
I know everyone who watched enjoyed this session because there's a lot you have told us here. There's a lot you have thrown to us. One of the things my mind keeps going back. One of the things that people complain about is about no jobs for our young people. But you have just said that we're not even ready for the jobs that are coming. We have the population to do all the jobs, but we are not ready. The population is not ready for the job that is coming. I am today learning new stuff on IT. I'm beginning to pick new talents, pick new things, new skills. One of these is what I'm doing now. What I'm doing now could be a whole TV station.
Right.
Managing graphics, moving from here to here, I'm doing this all by myself on a laptop. And someone will say, oh, you're doing well for yourself. Why do you need all of this? No, but I know that the world we are going into is a world where we need to, learn new things. And I'm very passionate about it. I see you are itching to say something.
I just wanted to share this with you when you're talking about what we're learning. I got a message from my sister the other day, and she sent me a little YouTube video of my 16-year-old niece, and it was absolutely awesome. She's new to YouTube. She's got a new YouTube channel, and it was absolutely awesome. And I just said to her, I spoke to her today, and I said, Cece, who did your video editing? I mean, it was incredible. The way you had little sound effects and you had music in the background and you had little stickers coming up during the video and everything. Who did you get? Because I need that person. Who did you get to do it? She said, Mom, I did it myself. I did it myself. She's 16 and she's editing her own videos. And I look at that and I just think we are archaic. You're younger than me and we're already out. We're already out of date. So unless we keep on top of things, unless we keep learning, and this season is an opportunity for us to keep learning. If you Google any course of any name right now, they are available at a fraction of the cost, if not free. You could put free courses on counseling, free courses on ICT, free courses on this, that, and the other, and you will find them. So use this as an opportunity to learn, and then do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
I'm going to land on that. Just do it. So if you watch this program today, Carol has told us to just do it. Like I started just doing this. I didn't have all the guests ready. I started. I told myself, I want to do this. Let's go. Let's work. And I'm doing it. And today we have the following gradually. Today we have Carol here. Next week we would have Bishop Wayne Malcolm. Not next week, next Thursday, the next episode. Bishop Wayne Malcolm, all the way from the United Kingdom, will be here with us, talking about business secrets for this time from the Bible. Business secrets from the Bible for post-COVID era. So there are secrets in the Bible that we need to use in the times that we are in now. Bishop Wayne Malcolm will be here just because I just did it, like Carol has said. So talking about YouTube channel, we have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is at Segun Manuel, and this program is airing right there at the YouTube channel. We got a comment from there who said, Carol's comment, I wish it's up to 3. I think Pineapple was more than 3. I think Kanjuni Bolaji is watching on YouTube. He says, are you sure that's up to 3? I'm sure he was writing. Anyhow, manage the one you have now. Like we say in Nigeria. I want to say thank you to you, Carol. Thank you for coming. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for the advice. Thank you for the push. And thank you for everything that you do. We look forward to having you again to talk about curriculum change. That's something we would really spend time to talk about, because the future we're going into is changing. The curriculum we had was for yesterday. It's not ready for the future that we're talking of and preparing for our children. All right. Thank you again, Carol Ballo. Thank you for coming. That has been Carol Ballo. I wanted to put her up so that you see her properly. Carol Ballo is the CEO of Seba Consulting and Training, and she has been with us. Thank you for coming. We truly appreciate you. We look forward to having you again.
And you can follow me at Instagram at Seba_consultancy. Instagram at Seba_consultancy.
What if we check out your name, Carol Ballo? Is it possible that something will pop up?
Facebook. I'm all over. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I've also got a platform on Instagram called Conversation with Carol, where I talk about things beyond education. So you can join me there.
You can check her out at Carol Ballo. That's her name right there. Or Seba_consulting. You'll find Carol Ballo right there, and she would give you whatever it is that you need to learn, especially as it relates to the education sector. She's the education guru.
I try.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Segun.
God bless you. Look forward to having you again.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, that has been Conversations with Segun today, and we've had a wonderful guest, Carol Ballo. You can follow her on Instagram at Seba_consulting. You definitely have more things to tell you and more things you need to see there. But if you have enjoyed today's episode of the program, I want you to stick around. On Thursday, we have Bishop Wayne Malcolm. He will be live here with us on Conversations with Segun. Still put your comments in the comment section. We would answer your question if there are any. Carol will also be there to answer your questions if there are any. Thank you for watching Conversations with Segun. Please share it with your friends. If you have not already liked our page, this page on Facebook, please go like the page so that anytime we're coming on live, you will see it, put on a notification. Do the same thing for our Instagram, our YouTube channel. Subscribe and put a notification up anytime we go up. There's always at least two videos because we go live twice in a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today is Tuesday's edition, and in 2 days' time we have Bishop Wayne Malcolm on Thursday, and then. Thank you again. Ciao.